What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Simba Sports Hub, man. Misery Monday, Tank Monday. I don't know what Monday it is, but let's talk about this good old Madrid. Uh, it was very, very weird. This Madrid game, man. Miami Dolphins beating our Washington Commanders 16-13 in overtime. Um, Damn, it's so hard to talk about this game without really like talking about like some of the other stuff that really didn't even happen. What happened during the game? Some of my concerns. But we're gonna talk. We're gonna break down this game first, and then we are going to get into a lot of what we've seen throughout the game and some of the stuff that we're talking about and some breaking news. The breaking news stuff is going to come at the back end of this conversation here. As we break down this Washington Commanders versus Miami Dolphins. Let me move this over real quick. Let me see something. How the fuck I move this? Let me just take this shit down. That's cool. We'll rock with that. All right. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. My key takeaways from the game, obviously, but we're going. Dang, what do I want to start off with? I think I want to start off talking about the offense, and then we'll go into what I seen from the defensive perspective. From a defensive perspective, in this game, it was a very good offensive game, but again, it just clearly shows what we are truly missing from an offensive perspective. Cliff Kingsbury, the air raid offense, some of the key points that we're gonna point out, and one of them is Chris Rodriguez. We seen, and I seen from my POV, I definitely seen a way different run game and running lanes for C Rod than I saw with Ja'Cory coming in the game. Not saying that I'm not trying to take nothing away from C Rod and try to diminish what he did throughout the game, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, just totally transparent. Those run lanes look very, very different. Some of the same running plays, some of the same running calls were called, but the plays, I just can't sit here and be phony with it and say it just looks different. It did look different. Could that allude to this C Rob being the better guy? It very well could be. It could very well lead to C Rob being a better running back than rookie Ja'Cory, aka Lil Bill, right? And that's understandable. I get that, and I'm okay with that as well. I'm not mad at that by any stretch. Him being the better running back. Is he our future running back? Now that's a topic for another day. But 15 carries, 79 yards. It definitely he had his longest run was 17 yards, and that was a good run. But the run game still just looks like, man, we cannot get like a good push at the offensive line. I mean, I don't know why is it like that? It's a multitude of things, right? We can say that it's the personnel that we got on the O line. We don't got enough bigger guys interior wise to get a push on the ball, right? That could be one thing, right? We can't fire off the ball and get D linemen off the line of scrimmage. We cannot get a good push from a run game perspective, right? That's one way to look at it. The other way could look at the blocking, the run blocking scheme, the run blocking calls that we do call doesn't look very, very good. I mean, again, we did see some plays. We saw some plays under center. We saw some toss plays. And that allowed Ja'Cory and C Rod to have some open lanes on the outside. But it just definitely doesn't look like a overall good offensive line, in my humble opinion. And y'all let me know in the comments how y'all guys feel about the run game. But for me, I can sit here and say that the run game did look a tad bit better. 15 carries because we saw Ja'Cory get 15 carries, but it didn't turn out to be anything. So it definitely, even when Ja'Cory got in the game, it just looked like those same running lanes wasn't open because we saw some of the same run plays. And this is why I say, like, the run plays that we have, and from what I've seen throughout this season, is that it's very simple. It's very simplistic. There's no trickery to it. There's no, what I'm saying, hey, we're gonna call this, we want to call this stretch, we're gonna call this toss, this dive down the, put a fullback in the game, it's just none of that. You don't see a very diverse run calling game for our offense. And that could be our struggles. And I don't know if there's one area where Cliff Kingsbury needs to get better at, from calling a better run game, because this is where I give him his praise. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people do give him his praise on this effort as well. Is that his passing game, the way he designed his route concepts, is good at times. It's good at times. It's definitely something that you can look at and say, "Oh man, all right, that was a good play design. That was a good scheme." I like how he schemed that up, right? So it's does can he, I mean, I think every offensive coordinator can get better at how they design and call plays. And that's what I think he needs to get a little bit better at is when he call these plays. It's like when you need him to dive into his deep in his bag and pull out something that we haven't seen before, he shows up with it. He shows us what he can really do when he really is, dives into his bag, his play calling bag. And I know one of the big, you know, the touchdowns that we could have had down in the late fourth quarter, the famous, you know what I'm saying, out and in route, and I forgot to call what it's called, the actual terminology of the route. But Zach Ertz normally runs. You know what I'm saying? It's that route, that C route is definitely, his bread and butter. And the one time that he runs it, he slips and falls, as Marcus Mariota, and throws the ball down the field. And I heard, some people say, man, why are we going for it so much? Man, well, look, we are 3-8. We have 3-7 before the game, before we lost this game. We have nothing to lose here. So sitting out a field goal kicker and trying to get points. And I know we're trying to win games, things like that, but you got to be aggressive too, man. And you got to, show some of these defenses that, hey, man, we still something to be talked about. And I'm not mad at it. Do we need the points? Yes. But even when we did send, excuse me, even when we did send our kicker out there, guess what he did? He went 2 for 4. He went 2 for 4, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later. And that's when you guys will probably see some of the excitement that I've had since the news dropped. But Deebo Samuel, 7 catches, 74 yards, and he found his way into the end zone, 8 targets. He definitely showed up. 4 catches, 40 yards from Zach Ertz. He had a pretty decent game. Not mad at it. But as you guys can see, man, we just have no other production from nobody else. Chris Moore had 2 good catches. Okay. Jacoby Jones, the young guy, had 1 catch for 25 yards. That was probably like the biggest catch that the team had and that we needed. We actually needed that catch. So shout out to him. But he definitely looked slow. He definitely looked slow after running that shit. Like when he caught that bitch, I'm like, damn, this Slim look like he ain't got no wheels at whatsoever. So, but shout out to Jacoby Jones for getting his first catch. I know he was excited to have that. So was I. I was excited to see him make that catch, no doubt. Excuse me. But hey, man, it is what it is. This is definitely something that, I would still like to see a lot of more of the young guys on the offensive side. I would like to see Ja'Cory Brooks get out there. I still want to see us bring up Donovan Edwards and see him get some touches. We are 3-8. We have nothing else to prove. We have nothing else the veterans have nothing else to show us except for, a reason potentially why we need to sign them back next year. That's it. That's all. That's all we need to see from here on out. Now getting into the defense, man, in which I know a lot of people want to hear me discuss. I really did like the defensive play calling from Dan Quinn taking over this game and pretty much demoting Joe Witt Jr., which was a long time coming. A lot of the fan bases have been echoing and wondering when the fuck that was going to happen, right? And we finally got it. We finally got what we've been asking for, and we can't sit up here and say we have not held a team under 20 points in the last 5 weeks of football. So yeah, is the Miami Dolphins a good offensive team? Maybe not, but to still be able to see us hold this offense to only 16 points, really 13 during the regular 4 quarters, and allowing them to kick the field goal to end the game, I can appreciate that. And then we saw something that shit we ain't saw in a minute. We saw an actual corner blitz. We actually saw Jonathan Jones evade his job and come off the edge and make and cause a little bit of havoc. And it was just like, God damn, where the fuck this shit been at, man? Where the fuck this been at? This is shit that we've been asking for a minute. This is shit we've been asking for a minute. But it is what it is. We are, we gotta deal with what we gotta deal with. We gotta take Bobby Wagner actually played some decent coverage, maybe one time. It was still some plays that I'm looking at him and I'm just like, man, why are you taking that angle, Bobby Wagner? Why are you taking that angle? Now looking at other guys on, and I'm not just going to point out, Bobby Wagner. We understand who Bobby Wagner is. Bobby Wagner is a Hall of Famer, but it is safe to say that his time is up. From a pass coverage perspective, I'm going to say that from a pass coverage perspective, his time is up, man. He ain't got it no more, and it's okay. Is he still good in the run stopping? Yeah, but last Sunday it didn't look like that. Yesterday it didn't look that good. It was moments where I'm just like, why is he fitting? Why is he going into that hole? Why is he going into that hole? Like, I don't understand it. Like, but it is what it is. We got to take it with a grain of salt. Another guy, but one guy that truly stood out to us, and I'm saying us because I think I heard enough from the fan base and a lot of the tweets that was coming out. Fucking Jordan McGee played a good football game. I'm not going to say great because guess what? It didn't lead to a victory. So I can't give him a great football game. But for the young guy to come in here and play with his hair on fire and running and making these open field tackles that we seen, and he was tackling, good like running backs. Achane, he caught him in the open field a couple of times. The tight end, he was making open field tackles where we haven't seen that from a lot of our linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks all year. So I got to give him a shout out for that. He definitely showed up. Give me 1 second, fellas. Oh. All right, my bad. Had to help out wifey for a second. But the defense definitely did show up. They played a way better football game. And I don't know if it was inspired football because the head coach now is taking over. And what could that mean? You cannot point out Joe Witt no more. Nobody on the defense can say Joe Witt is the problem. Nobody on defense can say, hey, Joe Witt, hey, you the reason why we didn't. Nope, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do that this now that you are being held accountable because guess what? Y'all are being coached by the head coach now. He gets to now dive in and look at where certain players messed up at, where we went wrong at on certain parts of the defensive calls. Like, and now you've been put under a microscope. And now we all can see that it's not just Joe Witt. It was never just Joe Witt. The personnel is the personnel, man. Yes, did we still look good? Did we get to Tua Tagovailoa? Yes, we did. We got 2 sacks, right? I think we got 3 sacks We got 3 sacks yesterday. And that's good to see. And we had 2 tackles for loss. Big stuff by Eddie Goldman on one of them. But, one of the guys that we like to throw under the bus for not showing up. And I'm not saying he played a great game, but Frankie Louvu was a big reason to why we had that one of those 4th down stops at the goal line. And Eddie Goldman, if you go and look at that play, Frankie Louvu blew that play up at the snap of the ball. And it forced Ollie Gordon to cut to the left. And who was right there? Eddie Goldman. He came in and rallied. But we had a lot of tackles for loss. We had 6 tackles for loss, which is good. We have, but there was some times, bro. It was one play, Achane, that got ball Achane outside, man. And I'm like, all right, that's a negative play right there. That's at least 3-4 yards lost right there. It's like 3rd and 13, maybe 2nd or 13 or something like that. But no, we couldn't tackle in the open field. I forgot who missed the tackle. I'm not gonna say who it was. I don't know who it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have made a note of it. But we had a missed attack. We seen some missed tackles out there, and they ended up turning a bad play into a positive, a negative play into a positive. And those are the moments that's like, God damn, Slim, you just want to see us put it all the way together. But I'm not going to put too much. I'm not going to give Dan Quinn too much harsh criticism because it was his first game calling. But we did play together. We did play better cohesiveness football together. Like we played better together on the defensive side. All three levels. All three levels. But I'm still going to call a spade a spade. We have no pass rush whatsoever. The fact that Tua Tagovailoa was able to sit back there some of these snaps or some of these plays and just read the defense, and it's like nothing is coming, nothing. And this is when we was dropping, we were just sending full, rushing forward, sending nobody else. It's like, God damn, Slim, can't nobody get to this. It's not like Tua could threaten us with his legs. He's not a scrambling quarterback. We know he don't like to evade the pocket. He like to stay within the pocket and complete passes. When he get outside the pocket, that's when it becomes, dangerous territories for him. We understood that. We know that already. That's already understood. So the fact that we only got to him 3 times, the fact that we couldn't force him to turn to give us a pick, we had one, but it seems like, Mike Sanders still, after that third interception, he left his hands at home. And I'm not going to go too hard on Mike Sanders still, even though he rightfully deserves it. Fuck it, I am. Slim Butterbane dealing with them animals out there on his land, taking care of them goats and chickens and things of that nature. Slim his hands are tired. Like he's, that's a lot of manual labor, a lot of hard work, a lot of calluses being put in, going out there and taking care of animals throughout the week. Because he had a nice, I said it, I called it too. When Tua threw the deep pass, I said, "Oh, this is an interception right here." He like when he like going, it's a lot of times it's an interception. And that jump went right through Slim hands. I'm like, God damn, Mikey Sanders still. But then that was one, and then there was the one that pretty much cost the game for us, right? That was the one where my man, they decided to put this nigga out on punt return. I mean, I was waiting to hear why the fuck he was back there. Why didn't we have Deebo Samuels back there on that punt return? But it came out, he's been fielding punts all throughout practice. So, he was the next man up. And we did not know that Jalen Lane was going to come out in the first play, which was a great route, great catch. And he took a nasty hit, and that put him out the game. And it's just like, damn, Slim, the injury followed us all the way from America to fucking Spain. It followed us. The injury bug just kept showing up. It's still showing up because we still lost guy. I believe Chris Moore went out with a concussion. I believe we lost Jalen Lane. And Jonathan Jones went out for a quick second, but he showed up and kept playing. But it's like, God damn, Slim, we just cannot shake this injury shit. We cannot shake this shit whatsoever, man. But I definitely give I tip my hat off to the defense. Dan Quinn, he definitely called the better defense. And like I said, I didn't expect too much of a different schematic wise. I didn't see us coming out here running like a 3-4 or like a hybrid, stand-up defense and anything like that. I felt like the scheme was going to stay the scheme, but from a Joe Wick play calling perspective to a Dan Quinn play calling perspective, things was going to change, and we saw some of that. We saw him utilize the cornerback blitz. We saw him go a little bit more zone, but it just seemed like the zone was it was way better understood and relayed. There was still some moments where you seen guys kind of like still like, man, what do I got? Where I need to be? I saw Jordan McGee like trying to see if I need to pass off. They passing them off. And it's like, damn, bro. It seemed like we still struggling on understanding the calls that are coming in from Bobby Wagner. It just seems like we just don't understand the shit. Yeah, we didn't see nobody run into one another. That was a good thing. But from a zone perspective, we showed a lot better zone coverage. We was able to play zone a lot better, but there was still moments where it's like the empty spots in the zone. I mean, I'm just a firm believer of if we're going to run zone, everything stays in front of you. Everybody rally to the ball. I'm seeing guys run up the seam. I'm seeing guys get behind linebackers. And it's just like, all right, this is the moments where I can really look and see this is a personnel issue. This is really a personnel issue. And that's not me taking nothing out. That's like me not taking nothing away from like the linebacker, the veteran linebackers that we have. I feel as though Frankie Louisville need to become a full-time pass rusher. He should not be dropping back into zone coverage no more this season. Go with Jordan McGee and drop Kane Madrano Madrano. I don't know how to say his last name, but drop Kane in there and let him drop back into zone coverage. This is the time that we need to start working in the young linebackers. Bobby Wagner, thank you. But hey, at the end of the day, my guy, we need to pretty much we need to see what this young talent can do for us. We need to see what this young talent can do for us. Sorry, give me 1 second, fellas. I mean everybody. Uh, but yeah, man, I was excited at what I seen from the defense. But then also now that makes me want to talk about the elephant in the room, right? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? One of the elephants, Mikey Sanders still did lose it, and that pretty much caused the game for it. But let's talk about what a lot of people are alluding to. A lot of people are spewing out the word tank. It definitely. I had my coworker come in. He's a Jets fan. He came in. He was like, "Hey, man, that was a bad tank off." Like, I'm like, "Damn, bro, you saw it too?" It just definitely looked like both teams was trying to tank, and it was like waiting for one to find like which one was going to fold first, which one was going to give up and concede and just say, "Hey, man, y'all win, and we're going to take this L." It definitely did look like that because it's just like you seen Jalen Waddle dropping passes. I'm like, especially in overtime, I'm like Jalen Waddle got some pretty good hands. Like he's a good catcher of the football, a good receiver. I ain't expect him to drop those type of passes. And then it looked like the play calling when we went like the last drive to go down there before bum ass Matt Gay went out there to kick to miss the game winning field goal. It just looks like, damn, are y'all really trying to get into field goal range? Because whatever this offense looked like, like it was enough time to get the ball within out of his danger zone, which is anything 50 yards or more. Even though we seen him miss a 39-yard field goal, a 40-yard field goal, we still saw these things. But again, this is like it looked like a bad tank. Like it looked like we was really trying to tank this game. It really looked like we was trying to get a lower draft pick. And if that is the case, bro, I'm gonna say this right now as a devoted, like hardcore, and that's somewhat delusional. I'm a very delusional Commanders fan, no doubt. I do not want to see moments of where my team even looks remotely like we're tanking. But then I can also say, no, we just bad, bro. We just got a bad kicker. And I'm not gonna hold the interception in overtime against Marcus Mariota. He tried to make a play. It was a bad play. It wasn't there. It definitely wasn't there. It definitely wasn't a good play. It was not a good read by any means necessary. But if that is what tanking looks like, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's gonna be hard for me to tune into the rest of the season and try to root for this team because I still want to see us compete. I don't care what we draft at. And this is what kind of before I get into the news of the hour. Matter of fact, no, let me talk about the news of the hour. Then we're gonna talk about, as we can see, man, Washington Commanders. As we see, it has finally happened, everybody. It has what I have been asking for since training camp. We finally got it. We finally got the Washington Commanders to release bum ass Matt Gay. Is it is it a long overdue situation? Yes. 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 But I understand. Hey, you giving this man guaranteed money, hoping that he can, recover and get, and start getting better at making field goals 50 yards plus. And or just being consistent field goal kicker, period. So I'm delighted to see this. Because if you really are tuned into my page and tuned into my channel, I've been asking for this shit, or at least bringing competition since training camp. Now, this goes into the second bit of news that we got, which I'm a little bit upset. Why the fuck are we signing this guy? I don't know his numbers. I don't know his stats. I don't know what. Let's see. Let's see if we can go look up Jake Moody. Let's go check this out real quick. NFL. Let's go home. Let's see. Can I look him up? Let's see. Jake Moody. Let's see what he's been doing in his career. I guess he was last with the Chicago Bears. He went 9 for 12. That's not bad. That's not bad. Is it great? No, but it's not bad. Sorry, y'all been looking up rotors. Y'all already know how the algorithm works. Let's see, 2024. That was 2024 season. Let's see. Huh. Okay. He's not good at kicking 50 yards. I can tell already. He was 4 for 9. Nope. I'm good. Why the fuck did we pick him up? I saw my man Rio Robinson. He said, man, he's not a good kicker either. But Jake Moody, I guess he was formerly a kicker with the San Francisco 49ers. So that's some some knowing of who he is because of AP. I heard some people bring up the whole incident with Deebo Samuels and the long snap of him stealing it off on Cuz. But hey, man, it's definitely. Can you be mad? No. Because right now it doesn't even matter because we're not playing for anything right now. Now, what I would have rather had seen us do, I would have rather seen us bring in Justin Tucker. See, no fucking Justin Tucker. Yeah, the fans be knowing some shit. He's been cleared of everything. He served his suspension. Why not bring in Justin Tucker? You bring in Justin Tucker, what's the worst that can happen? He start kicking and making field goals. We good. He didn't got that stank up off of him. He didn't got that bad juju up off of him. He didn't, I think his case is settled, I want to say. But yeah, he didn't did what he didn't serve his crime. He didn't serve for his crime. Everything is completed. Why not bring him in? And look at drafting a kicker out of the draft next year, which we could very well do. Still do, even with Jake Moody. But I understand because now this is going to get me into the whole tanking phase. For those that say we need to tank, for those that say Jaden Daniels don't need to see the fucking football field until 2026, NFL season kicks back off. So you can't really be mad for those that want to tank. Those that want to tank, you can't be mad at the signing because this is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. You asked for us to tank, so we bring in somebody who is not a consistent guy, I guess. And now you're going to get to, put a field goal kicker out there that's going to make us miss kicks and potentially not win us football games. So it kind of goes to those of the area that want to talk about tanking, right? This is what you guys wanted. This is what you guys want to get. You can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways, guys. So we gotta pick a position and we gotta stick with it. Is that did you want Justin Tucker who could potentially come in and resurrect his NFL career and start making field goals and winning us football games, or do you want the guy that seems to not? He looks like another Matt Gay who misses 50 from 50 yards back. He's not consistent at that, right? So I don't understand. But to the tanking thing, I've never been a fan that was even when we lost and got the second overall pick to get Jaden Daniels. I never uttered tank. Don't lose. I wanted us to win. I was mad as shit when the Jets kicker kicked that field goal and made it, and we lost because I wanted us to win the game, bro. And again, I could catch flack for that, and I could be delusional. I can be crazy, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with it because I'm just a firm believer of tanking. Having a tanking the team, tanking the season, trying to get a top draft pick. A top 5 draft pick is not going to cure all the bad that is going on with this team. I just want to let y'all understand, know that very, very clearly. Us tanking and getting a potential top 5 pick is not going to change one damn thing. Because guess what? If the guy that everybody is screaming for that they want, and I like him as well, but if one of those top talents, defensive talents, is there at top 5 pick, or 6 through 10, like even a top 10 pick is not going to change anything for us because we have so much that we have to do to get this team to be what we expected to be and to try to get back to what we did year one. 35 pending free agents, roughly, 80 to 90, some people saying 100 million in cap space. We have so much to fix. I don't see, if and the only way I can see it is that you're telling me that when we get a top 5 pick, we are trading back and recouping 3 to 4 picks, maybe 2, 3, 4 for this year's draft, and maybe 1 or 2, or maybe 1 for next year's draft. We need youth. We need speed. We need young dogs that want to come in here and make a name for themselves. Is that one of the top 5 guys? Are we saying that one of the top 5 guys that we potentially may draft and that a lot of the fan base keeps posting about. Is he going to come in and make an impact that is going to change the franchise? If you can really sit here and tell me yes, then hey man, I'm going to respectfully agree to disagree with you. I don't think it's just a one player fix for this team. We still need a pass rusher. We still need to make sure that the young linebackers that we even brought in is going to be able to even give us close to what Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvel gave us, which those two guys could. Jordan McGee very well could, but until we see it, how can we just automatically say, oh yeah, they're going to come in and do this? Oh, they're going to automatically come in and just change things around. We still I don't know what we do with Deron Payne. I don't know, do we give him extension? Do we trade him? In that case, now you're creating another hole, another void that you have to fill. Do we release Marshawn Lattimore? Is there a lockdown corner in this year's draft that we can get in potentially second to third or fourth round? Because that's what we're going to be looking at. I don't see a outcome where we don't get a pass rusher in the first round. Whether that be a trade back or picking at the pick that we end up with, whatever that is, top 10. It's definitely going to be a top 10 pick. But within that top 10 pick, are we getting a defensive player that's going to come in right away along with the key acquisitions that we make in the offseason, whatever amount of money that we spend? Because it seems like we're going to have to be we're going to have to buy at a higher price to wean guys to come from where they're at, unless it's a losing situation, to come and join another losing situation that see potential in us. I think we do got the potential. I think it's there, but does it come out that way? Is that one player going to change things around along? And then you got the AP haters. Oh, AP just hasn't hit on a lot of these draft picks, i.e. this guy right here. And that's the way you feel. I totally get it. Adam Peters and the Commanders don't get enough shit for whiffing on all 3 second-round picks last year: Newton, Sandersteele, and Ben. And the crazy thing is that, and I'm not going to search through his tweets if he's a Commanders fan or not. He may not be a Commanders fan. Head coach of the Washington Commanders. I tweet about whatever. Okay. All right. So he may be a Commanders fan, but he probably rooted on for Mike Sandersteele in one of those playoff games or that playoff game where Mike Sandersteele had 2 picks against the Detroit Lions. It's hard to say that he was not playing good football. Has he regressed a little bit this year? Yeah, he regressed. He's having his sophomore slump. But how can we not say, now that Joe Witt has been relieved of his duties, Dan Quinn, if he doesn't bring somebody else in or promote somebody else to defensive coordinator, that they don't get things turned around? And that the new acquisitions that we bring in, we don't see Sandersteele, and I'm not saying that it's the scheme that's making him play bad, but how do we know? We don't know a lot of these. A lot of these are question marks that are going to be unsolved until we kick off for 2026 and see what outcome we get. Simple as that. And we can dance around it. We can say we can need to do this, we need to do that, and that's all we can do up until next year comes upon us. But for right now, to say Sandersteele is playing bad, yes, you are 100% correct. To make it seem like that was a bad pick or he whiffed on this pick and he should be catching more flack for this, come on, man. This is Mike Sandersteele's second year. This is his second year, man. Let's see what year 3 and year 4 is about. And if he's still playing bad, then everything that you alluded to, it will be 100% correct. But let's be man enough if he comes back and we seen what we saw year 1 happen, year 3, year 4, give credit what credit is due. That's all I ask. For everybody that's down in every player, everybody that's on our team, we need to do this, we need to do that. If those said players come back next year and they play the brand of football that we all expect to see, just be an adult enough to come in and say, hey, they came back and started playing better football. And that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. And I respect that. But don't duck, don't hide, don't try to, oh, nah, man, it was just because you are right now. And you could be right later on. AP could have been a bad choice, but for right now, we have seen some production from some of these guys. Johnny Newton has shown flashes last year and a little bit this year. Has he regressed a little bit this year? Hell yeah, I'll be the first to say it. Ben Sinnott can't get on the field. I don't understand why. I don't understand if he's not showing it in practice. If the players in front of him are just playing better football, or are they trying to let him truly grow into the position playing tight end, which is that's asinine to me. We 3-8. Put him on the field. If he's not hurt, he should be playing. If he's not hurt, he should be getting a lot more snaps than John Bates and Zach Ertz. See what we got. Because guess what? There are some tight ends that's coming out this year. We might need to go grab us one. There's some Kyle Pitts. It's another tight end that's going to be a free agent this year. Can we lure one of those guys here and give us a better production and give us some some yards after catch? Because we see what Zach Ertz like to do. That motherfucker like to catch the ball and go down. He don't know what yak is. He like to catch the ball right where he at, and that's it. That's all. I think that's what extends his longevity in the league now. Not taking those brutal hits, and I respect it. I don't respect enough on my team. I need a tight end that's going to catch the ball and try to break 2 or 3 tackles, or break a tackle and get some yak for us, because that's what we need. We need big plays. We need big plays from our tight ends. If those going to be our safety blankets, we need to be able to chuck that ball down and be able to get something. If they're going to be zone beaters and beat a check down for Jaden Daniels, we need somebody that's going to be able to come in and be able to get the ball and make something after they catch the ball. That's just my opinion. I heard some people say, "Hey man, did we bring back Bobby? Do Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz come back?" I don't know. So this is why I say we need to see Ben Sinnott on the field to assess and see, hey man, we ain't losing too much. He can at least give us the pass and the pass catching ability that Zach Ertz has given us. We seen some glimpses of it. The Detroit game, he had a nice little catch. Can we see more of it? John Bates gave us a nice little catch. So can we at least operate with those 2 guys? Save us a little bit of money, be able to go out there and lure somebody in with an extra couple of millions. I don't know, man. It's a lot to be discussed. We are entering the bye week, and there's a lot to be talked about. There's a lot that we can fish and reach for. But I'm just happy at this. I'm happy at this guy being gone. Now that this guy's gone, I feel like we won round 1 of the bye week. We got rid of this nigga, but then we came back and did this shit. And that's what's concerning to me. But for the tankers, for the fans that want us to tank, this is a win for y'all. For me, I'm hoping that Jake Moody got his shit together and he comes in and he's able to ball out and be able to make some field goals for us. Fuck that. I still want us to potentially win games. I don't care what we pick at. I don't care if we pick top 10. I don't care if we pick in the late teens. I still think that we are 2 to 3 drafts away from being to be able to be the football team that we all truly want us to be. We definitely need to get younger, especially on defense. We definitely need to address the pass rush situation this all season. Don't go get Trey Hendrickson. I'm good. Go get us a young guy with a fucking young motor that is going to play with his hair on fire. That's what I need. We can coach him up and teach him how to play technique, teach him how to set the edge and all that as the season goes, as he grows in his career. Because that's what we need. We need somebody that can go get the quarterback on first down. Simple as that. That's what we need. That's one of the major concerns that we have. On offense, can we get a big body receiver in the offense? Somebody that JD can just oop the ball up to and they can win 50-50 balls. Not saying that Terry can't do that, but we need to get Terry healthy. We need to get him back good first. So we need to get him healthy first. That's what we need to do. So until then, let me go get. It's about 3 or 4 6'4" receivers out there. I'm not mad if Tate is there and we take him. I wouldn't be mad at that, but I would be upset just because I know for us to be the team that we need to be, I think that you can get a receiver later on in the draft that can come in and give you some good production. I think you keep Deebo Samuels in our offense. I think you still keep Terry and Deebo together, but you replace Noah Brown. And I think Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane are going to be good complementary pieces. Rotating in, the lineups, but you need another guy that's going to be able to play that outside. And that's a big body receiver, 6'3", 6'4" receiver. And I see quite a few in this draft class that we can go after. That's just me. But getting a top 10 pick, top 5 pick, that is not, and drafting with that pick is not, that one player is not going to change shit around for us. We need a slew of motherfucking young guys to come in this defense and be able to play with their hair on fire. I think we do got 2 young, even 3 young linebackers that we can utilize. Are they are they, you know, are they gonna give us anything? I think we've seen a little bit from Jordan McGee to say that he can definitely help us out next year. I think he's learned enough from Bobby Wagner, Ken Orton Jr., and Frankie Louvu to be able to come in and help us out and take over the rounds for Bobby Wagner. I definitely do. But still, a shout out to Bobby Wag. I appreciate everything you've done for this franchise. But hey, bro, we got it. We need something else. We need something else. We need some young. We need some young legs out there that's going to be able to run sideline to sideline, and that's going to be able to play with their head on fire. That's what we need. After this bye week, we should potentially get Will Harris back. We should see Drake Jackson play. We might be able to see Terry McLaurin back on the field. But again, if those guys aren't 100% healthy, fucking leave them off the field. And you know, there's our franchise quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and I know a lot of people say sit him down for the year. And I'll end it with this. I hear a lot of people say sit him down. I'm just a firm believer in, hey, if he's 100% healthy, let him play. Let him go out there and get some more experience going up against a tough defense in the Denver Broncos. Yeah, what if he get hurt again, Simba? That come with the territory, man. Because guess what? And people say it's a stretch, but what you saying is a stretch because yes, he's had a lot of injuries this year. He's had 3 of them. Some of them been back to back, and that's understandable. I get it. But are we saying that he's injury prone? Because that's the case. If he's injury prone, we need to look at getting another quarterback. And I don't think he's injury prone. I think he just had 3 freak accidents. I'm not going to blame the O-line. I'm not going to blame. It could have been. You could blame him a little bit. You could blame a little bit on the O-line. You could blame a little bit on the receiver. Him not trusting the receiver. It's a lot of blame that can go around. But guess what? I think that he needs to be out there because he wasn't playing the best football that I think he wants to play. So you let him go out there, man. You let him build up that chemistry, get back in sync with Terry McLaurin if he's healthy to go out there and play. You let him go out there and get some reps with Traylon Burks, Debo Samuels, Ben Sinnott, if he's healthy. You put a lot of these young guys, Ja'Cory, C-Rod, bring up Ja'Cory Brooks, bring up Donovan Edwards. Like you bring up a lot of this young talent and you put it with JD and you see what you can get. You're going to keep the O-line intact the way it is. The O-line has not been playing bad football, but they've been playing good football. So you put those, you let them still go out there and play, and you tell JD simply, hey, look, you got to remain calm in that pocket. You got to get through your reads, and if you see the check down open up quickly, take it. Take the check down. Take the check down. It's there, take it. If the check down is there, live with it and let your playmakers make a play for you. You don't have to make the play with your legs, and we've seen that earlier on in his rookie year. He tried to make a lot of plays with his legs, and then he started to settle down. He started to take what the defense was giving him. And we saw the best brand of football that Jaden Daniels could play later on in the season as the season progressed last year. It did look like he resorted back to his old ways, and that happens sometimes with young QBs. But we got to stick beside him. We got to stick with him as a fan base. The coaching staff got to stick beside him. You still got to continue to add weapons and pray that we can. This is the last injury plague season that we have as a unit, because it's hard to truly assess this team with all these injuries that we have. And I'm a firm believer in next man up, but at sometimes you got to keep it a buck. We got a lot more injuries than we could, roll in the next man up and still be a winning football team. We haven't seen this before, and that's understand. And we got guys that's still getting hurt throughout the games, week by week. Shit, I wouldn't even be surprised throughout the bye week somebody don't get hurt. Say, no, I'm joking. I'm not wishing injury on nobody. But for real, y'all, we've been injury plagued this whole season. So it's truly hard to really assess this team and what the team would have looked like if we was fully healthy, or we may have lost maybe 1 or 2 guys, and we were still playing bad football. Then hey, the gloves are off. Have at it with calling whoever y'all want to call a bust, a bum, the coaching, the player person. Y'all could have said whatever if we only had maybe 1 or 2 injuries. But the fact that we got 7 starters plus maybe more out, and then some of the second unit guys are out, man, come on, man. How can we really truly assess this team in the second year of this recalibration? I know a lot of people are alluding to, man, this is a full-on rebuild. Let's get rid of the old guys. And I'm firmly with you. Hey, let's get rid of them. But I hope y'all know we're getting rid of some of these old vets. Some of them, I'm asking. We're going to get rid of a lot of these old veterans. Don't get me wrong. But the young guys that come in, guess what, man? They're going to be making those young mistakes. And I hope y'all ready to live with the results of the. I'm willing to live with the young guys making more mistakes than the veterans. I'm willing to live with the young guys that still giving 100% effort and at least trying to make a play than just saying, oh, the veteran guys out here just don't understand scheme and schematics, and the personnel is just bad. I can live with a 3-8 record, knowing that we got a bunch of young guys out there trying to learn the game at the highest level and trying to play at the highest level the best that they can. Right? I can live with that. But what I can't live with is seeing the veteran personnel that we have. So I'm full on with, hey, let's get some young guys in here. Let's get some young guys in here and let's get faster on defense. I think that would help DQ out, or whoever the next defensive coordinator is next year. I just didn't. Damn, it sucks that we are replacing a coordinator this early in a new regime. I was hoping and praying that we saw some type of progress and play, but we haven't seen it. But y'all let me know in the comments, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I appreciate everybody that showed up. That's my rant. That's week 11 post game. Are we tanking? I don't know. Did we do a good job at it? Y'all let me know. I'll catch y'all in the next one, baby. Raise hell. I'm up out of here.